Hey there, I got something special that I want to share, and it's also very important as it's on the topic of mental health. It's a short story entitled Healing the World Through Healing the Self. Once upon a time, there was a wondrous society full of love, laughter, and light. This lasted for a while, but then society became ill with physical disease. Luckily, though, hope remained as science continued to find physical cures to those physical ailments. Joy returned, but then wavered as something else appeared too. Something that was more abstract. Something that people didn't understand yet. With that, society became ill once again. But this time the illness was within patterns of thought. Patterns which disrupted the order of mind. These disorders were thought to be just like the previous illnesses. So, doctors described them through their physical chemical messages. But they didn't mention that the physical was merely a reflection of the psychological. The source was thought-based software issues, which is actually a good thing because software is flexible, malleable, and it can adapt and change. However, at the time, society didn't understand the difference. So, they assumed it was just like the other illnesses. Society thought that being diagnosed with a disorder was the same as being diagnosed with something physical. This false belief, it permeated through the culture. And it left people feeling labeled and feeling stuck. It was a false belief because disorders are not physical things. Disorders are a set of observed behavior patterns, which one links to a label. You are not the label. And you should not hold the label. Otherwise, the label, it'll hold you. Now, the residents of this world did not know any better. So they thought it had to be something physical they had. As time continued, society did not have the resources nor the knowledge to properly help everyone, not on such a mass scale. And without the knowledge, they had to focus on the symptoms and the pain of the symptoms. This is when something dark entered the world. Society became so confused but they created an insidious solution. Worst of all, they thought the solution was good. How far they had strayed. Their solution was to convince people that there was no hope other than the help that they could give them. The help in the form of an eraser. Realizing that this was not a fairy tale. Realizing that society thought this way and thought that this was the solution is decimating to the heart. Well, I know this world is good. Holy heck, is it confused. Our body is the hardware. Our mind is the software. And our thoughts, that's the code. Every day as we think, we write code. And those form our routines and habits. Sometimes it's good for those automated systems to help pilot us. But other times, built mechanisms do not help us anymore. Perhaps they once did. But the fact is that together we can refactor our understanding of mental health. And that can make a real change. When this society finally realized that psychological diagnosis, those weren't the same as physical diagnosis, the individual got their power back. For they realized that every day, the decisions we make will either hold us within or free us from our patterns, our routines, our habits. While it was known that rewriting such complex code would not be easy, after the paradigm shifted, hope returned. The understanding of mind did not have to be re-architected in a day. Simply knowing that it could be, that was enough to start the engine of change. Hope, it is one of our strongest emotions. Study after study demonstrates this. If you know that there is a path, you will try harder and you will become stronger. As the feelings of hope transform one person after another, their minds not only began to heal, but so did the rest of the world itself. Now, some doctors, within their ways, at first resisted this new way of thinking. I guess it appeared to take some of their power away and return it to everyone. But being good, it of course dawned on them that their oath is to help people, and any other thoughts related to a want of money conflicted with that. So that quickly self-corrected. And from that, they also realized that their own psychological programs had their flaws. But once the ripples of healing reached the healers, the momentum of progress soared until eventually the entire world became whole. Peace returned to the world. And love for one another created connections of strength that never again would be forgotten. It turned out that hope, understanding, and love, it was all that was needed for society to reach harmony. Thank you for watching, and thank you for listening. Merry Christmas.